using an OLED monitor, or particularly an OLED TV, as a monitor. That's basically the video for today. In this video, we're going to be talking about things like size versus pixel density versus the kind of inputs you get and all the good stuff that you kind of have to ask when you look at this topic. So smack like on this video. We're getting right to the point. We're not going to waste any of your time. Essentially, a TV is always going to be better, in my personal view, than a monitor. Now, for multiple people in different applications, maybe that answer might change. But typically, especially for gamers, you have no real reason to buy an overpriced PC monitor just for the sole purpose of doing so. Now, there are certain benefits. Now, that brings me to number one, pixel density. So, essentially, the difference between a monitor and a PC for gamers usually boils down to this. PCs and monitors work really well together because the screen is really small, and anytime you have a lot of pixels packed into a small screen at a really high resolution, it's going to be tack sharp. That's just how that works, pixel density. But then, unfortunately, on larger screen sizes, people like to blow it up all the way up to over 80 inches, you then run into another unique problem, and that problem kind of looks like upscaled imagery, which takes those pixels that normally would have stayed confined to maybe like a small little grid or section of the panel, and then now it enlarges it, and those pixels, the more you enlarge them, become blurrier and blurrier, and then you lose resolution, which is why when you sit close to a TV, it just looks fuzzy and like crap, but when you sit further back, it looks good, because again, the farther back you get, the smaller the screen appears, and the smaller it looks, the tighter the pixels. That's just how this stuff works. Now, this is why a lot of people also opt in for things like the 42-inch OLEDs as, again, gaming monitors and things of that nature, because it's just better for the eyes and it's sharper and all that good stuff. However, that does not mean that you can't game on something like a 55 or a 65-inch television and have tremendous results, especially once you start getting up to really high resolutions. Like, once you get to 1440p and up, it's literally your ball game. 1080p, you'll run into some fuzzy issues, but 1440 and up, you have no real fuzzy issues at all. And that's why, ultimately, I choose to use it for all of my primary gaming. You see, I'm not like most people. I don't like to be locked in and told what I can and can't do with products I pay for, so PC for me makes the most sense, and I like the liberation of modding my content and doing so from the comfort of my bed. Now, how, Quantum, are you doing this? I mean, after all, you're gaming on a television, and you have this big tower and this PC. How does it all work? Well, let me show you. Essentially, I use a wireless Logitech keyboard that has the trackpad and mouse built into it so that I don't have to sit there with separate peripherals for that. That allows me to be able to wirelessly sit in bed, do everything from an operation standpoint after turning on my PC that I would have needed the mouse and keyboard for, and when I'm done, I just turn the thing off. And the best part about this is, then I just take my Xbox controller. I'm personally one of those people that like the wired connection, so I have a really long USB-C, and I wire that into the Xbox controller and have it in the PC, have the cord across the room, and I'm good. But see, if you didn't want to do it that way, you could use either the Xbox wireless adapter for Windows, which allows you to do this, and you can also use your Bluetooth capabilities of your PC as well. I have used both of these methods. I found that it does tend to drop out after really long gameplay sessions, but for most people it would be fine. But because sometimes I do go on the longer end of side of things, I do like to have a more guaranteed way of my inputs not failing, especially in games like Mortal Kombat, where inputs and dropouts are notorious literally mid-match. And this is where it becomes a conversation of, what are you looking for, right? See, personally, I believe that TVs, they have a wide range of sizes. If you want to go towards the WOLED side of things, you can get yourself a 42-inch, and then that will cover you if you want that traditional desk look. If you don't want that, and you're like me, like my biggest thing, I'm a gamer. I was on Xbox and PlayStation for the longest time, but I don't like being told you have to pay for all the DLC and all the cosmetics, and you have no options to do anything with the frame rates or the resolution. Graphics are locked in the way the developer set them up. But what if you're okay sacrificing resolution for the sake of frame rate? You're okay with going to 1440p or 1080p to get 120 Hz. Well, that's why I'm a PC gamer, because I can choose that and not let somebody else decide for me. It's the ultimate build it yourself and don't let somebody handhold you the whole time kind of way of thinking. And that ultimately is what you get when you go to PC You have your nice tower, you have your big TV, and you've got your wireless peripherals allowing you to do just that. But now let's say you want to use this for productivity, because maybe not everybody's a gamer. You can still do productivity stuff too on a television. They come with USB ports. So while yes, you have PC monitors that have multiple USB ports for charging and things of that nature, you can get yourself a really cheap, like $11 to $20 adapter that literally is a card reader and all other kinds of things that will literally read files for you. And I did this on my Samsung my Samsung Q8 FN from 2018, just to show you that this works even on older TVs. It's not new technology or something that's going to break the mold or game change, okay? USB is there for a reason, so that you can use your peripherals. This is brilliant too for people like me who like to watch digital movies but off of a hard drive, so that you can back up your libraries and stuff of that nature too. It's just wildly versatile. And then also, unlike PC monitors, the TVs come with speakers guaranteed built into them, even if they don't always sound the best, which means that eliminates a cost for you right there, right out the gate, if you did not want or have the funds to invest into something separate after already spending money on an expensive television or monitor. See, these are the benefits of going with a television over a monitor. And I think, honestly, in this day and age, monitors just don't make sense. Their picture quality alone will be one of the worst experiences comparatively to a TV for the same price that you could find. You're not only getting a smaller screen, but you're also getting worse nighttime viewing. The black levels are notoriously bad, and if you want to approach television quality, you're going to be forking out a hell of a lot of cash, way more than what it had any right to cost. And for that, I think, honestly, just do something better for yourself and go the route of, I don't know, a television, because those are pretty much more advanced than PC as far as monitors go, are way behind in terms of what we can offer. Now, to be fair, there are monitors that go up to over 200 hertz and blah, blah, blah. But let's be real. There isn't a graphics card in existence that can do that. You just can't sustain those types of resolutions and frame rates and stuff like that. People talking 8K, 200 hertz. You're never getting that on today's GPUs. You're just not. We have trouble getting benchmarking results for 4K 120 across every single game, especially open world games, when we talk about today's current GPUs. So again, everybody goes crazy over 144 hertz and all these other hertz. You're not getting that locked. You're going to have really wonky all over the place frame rates. And if you know anything about frame rates, when you have frame rate dips, it goes up and down too much. It just doesn't look good, and it makes you feel very dizzy, disoriented, and it's very jarring because it goes from very fluid to very choppy and very crappy, and it doesn't feel good. So again, I would say if you are anybody who is in the market for a monitor, take your time and try to just divest that energy from monitors and invest it into something like a television, because you'll be way more happier, spend way less money. And while, yeah, sure, you won't have the PC level of text reading that people like for monitors because it's super tech sharp, because the screen's super small, the simple solution really at that point is to buy a smaller screen. And they make small screens. Now, I get it, they don't go to 24 and 32 like some people might like, but not everybody wants that. And honestly, at 42 inches, the OLEDs that offer that from Sony, Samsung, and LG, I mean, you'll be more than fine and have a tremendous time playing that, which is why more and more people are switching from monitors to OLED TVs specifically, actually. But that being said, I would love to know what you guys think about this. Are you somebody who is a diehard monitor fan and will never change over, and if so, why? And if you've switched over from a monitor to a television, what did you pick and why? That being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.